I'm going to say grand rising to everyone. Today is a glorious day. My name is Reverend Jerry Hobby. Today is the second day of Kwanzaa, and I believe the word of the day is kuchukulua. That is collective work and responsibility. And we're coming together in the name of collective work and responsibility today as we anchor into our morning meditation. We're warming the field of life. And part of warming the field of life is taking time, being intentional with our work. So our work here is to create an environment and a space where we all get to grow. That is why we start today with morning meditation. This year, we've been working with the book 365 Days of Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. So I'm going to invite you to anchor in the silence with us right here, right now, as we work together in terms of warming the field of life. Just breathe with me. Drop into the heart space. And just allow love. Allow love to melt away any sense of dis-ease. Our reading this morning comes from 365 Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. And today's reading is entitled, I bless everything and know that all good will multiply in my experience. We start first with the reading from James, chapter 1, verse 25. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, the man shall be blessed in his deed. And from the Mahayana, if God was not created in the past, nor is it to be annihilated in the future, it is eternal, permanent, absolute, and from all eternity it sufficiently embraces its essence, all possible merits. James tells us that we should look to the perfect law of liberty, follow its precepts, and then we shall be blessed in our deeds. This means to keep the eye single or centered on the presence, the power, and the responsiveness of spirit. The law of God would have to be a law of liberty, since bondage could not come from freedom any more than death could be born out of the principle of life. We often wonder, why are we limited, and too frequently project the blame for our limitation upon the universe itself? This is a psychological trick. that we play in ignorance to the true facts. Limitation is not imposed upon us by the universe, but through our own ignorance. Every discovery in science tends to prove this. The visible, invisible takes temporary form in our experience. Unfortunately, none of these forms are permanent. We should look upon them as the play of life itself. In our own experience, we're privileged by the creative wisdom to become creators of our personal affairs. The divine creative spirit embraces every possible action. No greater freedom could be found or given, and we should daily open our consciousness to the divine influx, expecting greater wisdom, more infinite guidance, and more complete self-expression. Today, I lift up my consciousness and receive a more abundant expression. I bless everything and know that all good will multiply in my experience. I expect the good. I live in a state of joyous anticipation as well as quiet realization. I expect the all good to manifest in my experience today. So I'm going to invite you right now to breathe with me, to just let those words saturate our entire being. And let's just sit in this silence with those words right now, right where we are. Our reading this morning comes from 365, Science of Mind, a Year of Daily Wisdom from Ernest Holmes. And today's reading is entitled, I Bless Everything and Know That All Good Will Multiply in My Experience. We start first with a reading from James chapter 1, verse 25. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he bring not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of work. This man shall be blessed in his deeds. And from the Mahayana, if God was not created in the past, nor is it to be annihilated in the future, it is eternal, permanent, absolute, and from all eternity, its sufficiency embraces its essence, all possible merits. James tells us that we should look to the perfect law of liberty, follow its precepts, and then we shall be blessed in our deeds. This means to keep the eye single or centered on the presence, the power, and the responsiveness of spirit. The law of God should have to be a law of liberty, would have to be a law of liberty, since bondage could not come from freedom any more than death could be born of the principle of life. We often wonder why we are so limited and too frequently project the blame of our limitation upon the universe itself. This is a psychological trick that we play in ignorance of the true facts. Limitation is not imposed upon us by the universe, but through our own ignorance. Every discovery in science tends to prove this. The invisible takes temporary form in our experience. Unfortunately, fortunately, none of these forms are permanent. We should look upon them as the play of life upon itself. In our own experience, we're privileged by the creative wisdom that becomes co-creators in our personal affairs. The divine creative spirit embraces every possible action. No greater freedom could be found or given, and we should daily open our consciousness to the divine influx, expecting greater wisdom, more definite guidance, and more complete self-expression. So we're at that point now where we get to be co-creators, where we unmute ourselves and we use the power of our voice, the spoken word, and we amplify the spoken word with intention. So I invite you, if you're here in this sacred space with me, this virtual space, unmute yourselves. And as you're unmuting yourself, I'm going to invite you to prepare to repeat after me. And I'm inviting the same thing to happen for those that are out on our social platform if you're in this space. And we begin. Today, I lift up my consciousness and receive more abundant expression.
I lift up my consciousness and receive more abundant expressions.
I bless everything and know that all good will multiply.
I bless everything and know that all good will multiply.
In my experience,
In my experience,
I expect the good.
I expect the good.
I live in a state of joyous anticipation.
I live in a state of joyous anticipation,
as well as quiet realization.
as well as quiet realization.
I expect the all good
I expect the all good
to manifest in my experience today.
to manifest in my experience today.
Just breathe those words in right now. And as we move into this space of joyful expectancy, we smile. We honor the presence and know that that which we take our attention to, that which we focus on, expands in our life. It's part of the natural laws of life. The constant flow, the sacred yes. And in this space right here, right now, we turn away from the outer world of what many may call limitation and focus our attention on that which is eternal, that which is infinite in its nature, fulfilling itself and uplifting itself. And I take this moment now through the power of my voice, the inner voice, through the power of self-awareness, and through the power of my spoken word, the every breath I breathe. I take this moment now to acknowledge, to stand in the wisdom and the truth, the realization that God is in everything, that it multiplies itself within my personal experience, and that it multiplies itself everywhere within everyone's experience according to their faith, according to our awareness. So in this very moment, as a collective, I'm affirming the presence of God as good, knowing that that good fills the air, knowing that that good reveals itself. Wherever we take our attention, we know that there is a mighty blessing. There is a personal gift, and that gift is a natural expression of life, attracting more grace, more goodness. And I acknowledge it right now within our body temples as perfect wholeness, as the divine radiance within every breath, as that divine presence that moves out of the space of inflation and inflammation to a space of balance, a space of continuity, a space which is ever flowing for good. I'm acknowledging this as the power of perfect health in motion, perfect health fulfilled and revealed within each and every one of us. And I know that if it fulfills itself there, it must fulfill itself everywhere. So I'm claiming and knowing that there is more than enough. There's more than enough of the divine presence that is a sacred companion that continues to indulge and entertain itself for good. And I'm giving thanks for the joy of this experience, the integration of God in action, God as the perfect companion. And I know that that same power is the divine presence that influences itself, that reveals itself as every single need met. I'm acknowledging the abundant, ever flowing, prospering nature of the divine within our experience, knowing that all needs, our seeming needs, are already met through our trust, through our understanding, through our experience. There is only the presence of God fulfilling itself as good. I acknowledge it right now, expanding and growing on all levels of awareness, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. It all aligns in this sacred truth, in this sacred awareness. And I'm most grateful this morning, and I'm inviting you to join me in affirming these words verbally. And so it is.
So it is.
And
And so it is. And now it is.
amen, amen, and ashe.
Amen. Amen. And ashe.
Thank you all.
I like your background, Jerry.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I appreciate it.
And the candles and the fireplace and the corn.
Yes. And we know what the corn represents.
Tell us, because we are remembering.
You are remembering. I love it. And we are remembering. That corn represents our prosperity.
Yes.
And the fruits and all of that, especially the corn, it represents the first fruits and our children. The youthfulness is part of that. So we honor that. And I have a fond memory before I sign off on YouTube, because I love the practice of celebrating Kwanzaa. My fond memory is I had so much corn one year, I did not know what to do. So I took the corn and I baked the corn. I had so much corn in the freezer. I baked it, and we had the Kwanzaa celebration. And guess what? Your grandchildren came and ate corn like crazy and enjoyed. So that is a Kwanzaa celebration, celebratory story. And I'm inviting you today. If you have corn, you can even have frozen corn. Take that frozen corn
Have corn. I
and
have
drink
corn.
and eat of that corn and celebrate. Make it a ritual. That's something new that you can do with Miss Aubrey.
Yes.
I'm going to post Miss Aubrey's part. I'm going to post their part today in celebration of Kwanzaa. I'm inviting everybody to go and look for that.
Okay.
Visit us at our Facebook page. You'll be able to find the link. And we're also going to put together a Kwanzaa playlist for you also. So there we are. I'm inviting you to enjoy yourself. Please come and be with us tomorrow morning. It is our last Sunday of the year, and we're bringing in Kiyomi. She is going to do a sound healing meditation. I want you to be intentional today. And that intentional part is to think about the things you're going to leave behind in 2025 that no longer serve you. The thinking that's no longer valid, those things that we do to sabotage ourselves because we blame it on the universe, as Ernest Holmes says. But the truth of the matter is, it's just that we've been lethargic in the way we think or the way we act or respond. Let's be more intentional. So let's focus our attention on the things that support us in our growth and multiplying the good within our lives. I look forward to being with you, and that step of being with us tomorrow morning at 7:15 a.m. Pacific time. Conjugate, cross your time zones. Make sure you're there in the room. If you can't do anything but just get there and be comatose in the room, I promise you it will benefit you. So please show up. Thank you, YouTube audience. Come and